Simple and easy solutions for ED. Hi, I'm Brooke Hazen, ED expert, author of You Are Not Broken, and fully empowered, recovered porn addict. There is no more need to live in fear, desperation, and depression. There is absolutely no place for ED today. I have simple and easy holistic solutions for ED. The first is porn-induced erectile dysfunction, or PIED. It is the fastest growing form of ED today, affecting men and women of all ages. This is a neurologically based form of ED. It is really an arousal displacement dysfunction and a major dopamine addiction. The science shows that the dopamine levels and receptor sites for porn addicts are depleted to the same chronically low levels experienced by cocaine and morphine addicts. Dopamine is our drive, determination, inspiration, and will to be the best beings we are truly meant to be. Dopamine is essential to gaining and maintaining an erection during sex, as well as arousal to life. The simple, easy, and free solution for this first major form of ED is to quit masturbating to pornography, period. The second major form of ED is energetic ED. This is caused by releasing semen too often, causing the chi sexual energy and overall physical energy in our body to become depleted and fatigued. This results in being unable to perform sexually, as well as in life, both physically and relationally. Semen release is also a dopamine addiction. In the West, we are unaware of the immense toll that semen release takes on a man. Eastern traditions have been aware for millennia that each man has limited chi sexual energy. Men in the West misunderstand that we can still have full body orgasms and ejaculation. We simply are blocking the semen from being released. The moment semen is released, dopamine levels crash and prolactin levels increase as the body goes into an intense refractory period and process of replenishment, pulling all the most precious growth factors, hormones, and nutrients to replace the vital sperm. This causes mood imbalance and distancing in the relationship. This process is most intense for the first few days. However, the science shows that this process weaves up and down for up to 2 weeks. Overlapping dopamine crashes cause a perpetual state of chronic fatigue, mood imbalance, irritability, anger, and a complete inability to connect in the relationship. Eastern traditions have been aware for millennia of the transformative powers that semen retention holds for our sexual, physical, relational, emotional, and mental health, as well as to create success in all areas of life. Semen retention is the most feared and misunderstood beneficial sexual behavior in the West. Most men are afraid it will decrease satisfaction. Paradoxically, semen retention dramatically increases sexual sensitivity, potency, performance, and embodiment. It dramatically prolongs sexual performance so that we are now in alignment with the arousal cycles of our female sexual partner. And most importantly, it avoids the dopamine crash, which causes distancing and satiety in the relationship. The easy, simple, and free solution for this second major form of ED is to practice semen retention during lovemaking. When coupled with bonding behaviors which build oxytocin, this results in long-lasting relationships that can last indefinitely. Use the Kegel exercises which flex the pelvic floor muscles to avoid semen release during lovemaking and slow down the process when the energy builds too fast. The third major form of ED is organic blood flow restrictive ED. This is the one we are hyper-focused on. Mainstream Western medicine and the pharmaceutical industry want us to live in fear of ED and believe that the only form of ED is blood flow restriction, so that we are dependent on their only tool they have for all major forms of ED, which are nitric oxide-inducing pharmaceutical drugs. Nitric oxide is what causes increased blood flow throughout our blood vessels. However, These pharmaceutical ED drugs and even the natural ED supplements, which boost nitric oxide, never get to the root cause of the nitric oxide dysfunction. Instead, they artificially produce nitric oxide outside of what our body is capable of producing naturally from within, and only for a few hours, to all the parts of our body, including the brain, the heart, and the muscles. This results in debilitating side effects and a dependence on pharmaceutical drugs. Diminishing and often failing results are experienced from these drugs because the root source and the true cause of the dysfunction are never being addressed. No actual healing is taking place. Only lifestyle changes and natural healing modalities, which synergistically address all aspects of our neurological, energetic, cardiovascular, hormonal, and nervous systems, can provide true healing. Additionally, these drugs are being misdiagnosed and misprescribed for millions of men who do not have blood flow problems, but instead have neurological and energetic ED. We need to be clear that these pharmaceutical and even natural drugs do not cure anything. I have a natural solution to eliminate the source of nitric oxide dysfunction, which empowers our own body to produce healthy levels of nitric oxide intelligently from within, whenever and wherever we need it, rather than being dependent on an outside source every time we want to make love. Arteriosclerosis is a conglomeration of heavy metals, plaque, and calcification. Our body produces increasing levels of cholesterol to cover up free radical damage to our endothelial layer, which is responsible for producing healthy levels of nitric oxide. The true source of arteriosclerosis and organic ED from arteriosclerosis are free radicals. The free radicals come from 4 sources. Number 1, the latest science shows that heavy metals are a major contributor to arteriosclerosis. Number 2, an animal-based diet is high in free radicals, carcinogens, and saturated fats. The science is clear that an animal-based diet causes short-term decreased sexual function, as well as long-term erectile dysfunction and arteriosclerosis. Number 3, environmental pollutants such as microplastics, heavy metals, chemicals, and pesticides contribute to the formation of arteriosclerosis, as well as disrupt hormones. Number 4, smoking. That's it. This is simple and easy. Western medicine and the pharmaceutical industry absolutely do not want you to know the source of arteriosclerosis, nor the solution to get rid of existing arteriosclerosis. Those are the sources of arteriosclerosis and nitric oxide dysfunction. Now we can eliminate the free radicals that cause arteriosclerosis, as well as break up the existing arteriosclerosis naturally and non-invasively by using chelation and plaque X IV therapy. Calcium EDTA is FDA approved to remove the heavy metal and calcification components of arteriosclerosis. Plaque X, or phosphatidylcholine, PC for short, removes the plaque portion of arteriosclerosis. The trial to assess chelation therapy, or TACT-1, which is a government comprehensive study, showed that just 1 full course of EDTA treatments reduced cardiac events by 51% and mortality by 43% in patients with diabetes. This trial was so effective that the TACT-2 study was created and is now ongoing. Numerous scientific studies and experiential evidence, including my own study on myself, show the undeniable effectiveness of chelation and plaque X IV therapy to safely remove arteriosclerosis naturally, non-invasively, and without side effects. Once we remove the arteriosclerosis, we can continue maintenance with chelation and plaque X IV therapy, as well as other IV therapies such as glutathione, poly-MVA, NAD, triaminos, and antioxidant supplements, which I recommend in my book. We can remove arteriosclerosis, but we then need to protect ourselves from the free radicals that initially cause the arteriosclerosis. Eliminate any source of ongoing heavy metal exposure from water, food, and air. Change from an animal-based diet to a plant-based diet. A plant-based diet protects us from the 15 leading causes of death in the world, as well as increases our lifespan by 10 years. A plant-based diet has all the same protein levels and amino acid building blocks as an animal-based diet. While an animal-based diet is high in free radicals, carcinogens, and saturated fats, plants contain antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and anti-carcinogenic properties. While an animal-based diet has both short-term negative impacts on sexual performance, as well as in the long term creates organic ED, plants increase our sexual performance in the short term and protect us from organic ED. I recommend organic fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. I do not recommend soft drinks, sugars, and processed flours which convert to sugar in the body. Fried foods should be very limited and only include olive oil, which does not act as a free radical source. The simple and easy solution for the third major form of ED from organic nitric oxide dysfunction is chelation and Plaquex IV therapy combined with a healthy plant-based diet, exercise, intermittent fasting, donating blood regularly, and eliminating heavy metal and environmental pollutant exposure, as well as smoking. I also recommend extracorporeal pulse activation technology, which uses sound waves to break up any plaque in the lingam, as well as the surrounding pelvic blood vessels. And lastly, the IVs and supplements I recommend support our objective to empower our own body to restore healthy levels of nitric oxide production intelligently from within, whenever and wherever we need it. We do not need to be dependent on pharmaceutical or natural ED drugs and boosters to do this for us. The next major source of organic ED is decreased testosterone and increased estrogen. Arteriosclerosis, low testosterone, and high estrogen are not only associated with older men today. Older men have had more time to develop unhealthy habits and exposure. However, young men are increasingly seeing this through pesticides in food, microplastics, and an unhealthy diet. The simple and easy solution for low testosterone in men, as well as low estrogen in women, is bioidentical pellet testosterone replacement therapy. Other forms of organic ED can come from surgeries and injuries. Platelet-rich plasma combined with stem cell therapy has been shown to be effective at regenerating new blood vessels, capillaries, nerves, and cells. This sums up my effective, holistic, curative, and preventative solutions for all major forms of ED we see today. There is no more need to live in fear, confusion, disempowerment, and desperation. Reclaim your power and become the ideal being you are meant to be, sexually, physically, relationally, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Please refer to my book. My complete free audiobook is available on my YouTube channel, Brooke Hazen, You Are Not Broken, as well as my website, brookehazen.com. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to catch the next video.